Okay. Hi, my name is Marlita Guzman. This is for speech 3. These are my note cards. They're not full sentences, I promise. It just looks like it, but... And then this is my audience. Okay, so imagine you are having a nice meal at your favorite restaurant with all of your family and your friends. You're celebrating your birthday and you're celebrating it with the people you love. But you order nachos for appetizer, fettuccine alfredo pasta for the main course, and Oreo cheesecake for dessert. Bonus points if you can guess what restaurant it is. So anyway, you're having a fun time with the people you love, but your pasta goes in the wrong tube. Kind of like how when you choke on your own spit or something. So you feel your throat tightening, and you end up having a loss of control. And everyone starts to panic around you, and no one comes to save you. That's a pretty gruesome situation, isn't it? Well, as I mentioned, many of you have probably experienced this, like a similar situation, like when you choke on your own spit or something. But imagine this same scenario, but instead you're having a cardiac arrest. This has unfortunately happened before, either because people are too scared to intervene or they don't know what to do. This leads me to my thesis, which is only a small percent of people get immediate help before professional help arrives after an out-of-hospital cardiac arrest. And I think that the solution should be to learning CPR should be a required skill for all high school students. For starters, I will talk about the factors that affect people's decisions to save a person's life. Then I'll talk about the consequences of not acting, and finally I'll talk about the solution. According to Xiao Mei Koi and her peers in a 2025 scholarly article, around 58.6% of her participants in her survey were willing to perform CPR on strangers, compared to the 95.7% of people who were willing to perform CPR on family members. Researchers also emphasize that individuals are more likely to perform CPR if they are legally protected. This demonstrates that there are a couple factors that hinder people from saving lives. And I actually want to bring in something that I learned in health science. And there is a Good Samaritan law which protects people that voluntarily administer like CPR and stuff like that. And to add, Liang Tianxian from Changgung University stated in a 2025 scholarly article that emotional stress is a factor as to if bystanders do CPR or not. This actually gives a different perspective because the earlier article said that family members, like people would be more willing to perform CPR on their family members. So now that I discussed the factors that go into whether or not a bystander would perform CPR, I'll discuss consequences of not taking that action. The main consequence of not taking this action is that patients that do get CPR are more likely to survive than those who do not. According to Natalia C. Oliveira and her peers in a 2025 article, they found that CPR performed by bystanders actually has similar results of survival to medical professionals. So patient survival depends on whether or not bystanders perform CPR when they're experiencing an out-of-hospital cardiac arrest. Now that I've talked about the problem, I will talk about the solution. So I believe that high school students should have CPR as a part of their curriculum in high school. According to Sayahi Someh from the University of Medical Sciences in Iran, in a 2025 study, it states that CPR training programs should be implemented regularly, and this study was done specifically on high school students. So this shows that giving high school students the chance to learn CPR will not only boost their confidence level, but it'll also give them skills to survive, to help save lives. Now that I talked about the solution, I will talk about my personal experience. So in my junior year, I decided to enroll myself in health science, which is a class at my school for people that are interested in the medical field. And I want to be a nurse when I grow up, so I thought that was a good plan. So far from this story, I learned like anatomical position, the blood pathways of the heart, like types of bones, etc., etc. So on this day, my teacher said, hey, like we're gonna be learning CPR. So there was like a bunch of mannequins everywhere, and we got into groups of people. And honestly, I was nervous. I was nervous to do it, especially because I was thinking of like, oh, what if my peers judge me if I'm doing it wrong or whatever. So, but I ended up gaining the courage, and I actually volunteered. I was the first to volunteer in my group to do it. So even though my like palms were sweaty and everything, I was able to not only like learn the skill to save someone's life. So in conclusion, the consequences, so now that I've talked about the consequences of not performing CPR and how there's factors that bystanders have to not saving a person's life, my suggestion is that CPR classes can be beneficial, especially in high school, and also stating from my personal experience. I think that people should consider taking CPR classes, like all of you. I think you guys should consider taking CPR classes if you haven't already, because you don't need a cape to save a life. You only need 2 hands, a brave heart, and the will to act. Thank you. And this is my audience. All right.
Yay.